So what funny text of the week do you have?
This one is a text between MC and I, or Miss Connections and I. He snapped me a picture of a game, and this, just to preface, is me sharing me being funny.
Nice. My favorite.
And I
My
feel like
favorite.
it's probably not that funny, but I feel like you'll appreciate it, Amber.
Oh,
So,
yay.
he sent me a Snapchat of like a game screen, and I said, "What's the game of the day?" And he said, "Once Human." And I said, "I've never played it, but that's so relatable on a Monday."
That's awesome. My first text of the week is from Tori, and we were just,
Oh boy.
shooting the shit, seeing what each other were up to. And she said, this boy is keeping me busy brining him more berries. And then she immediately corrected it to bringing. I'm not brining the berries, she says. And I said, LMAO, I was wondering why he's making you brine the berries. Sounds kind of gross, to be honest. Is that just wine? And then she says, blueberry wine with the puke emoji.
Nobody wants that.
No. So she's very busy brining berries for her baby.
This boy, yep, you gotta brine the berries for the boys.
Yeah. She's working late. Why? Because she's brining berries.
As one does.
Yeah.
This was a text from Alicia. And it's actually I guess it's a meme. It's like a screenshot of a message. And the male in the message says, send me, I don't want to say this word. Send me vagina pics, but he used a different word for vagina.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then the person he was texting respond, which is nobody we know, by the way. This is just like a meme or something that was going around. The person who he was texting responded with his profile picture.
Sent him his own profile picture.
Yeah. And then he said, "What the fuck? That's me." And
that's the best part.
I love that. Yeah.
That's epic. And I could also see Alicia doing something like that.
Yes, yeah.
Like saying something, there's like sending a picture back to someone of themselves. Yeah. So my last text is actually with my boss, and we kept in touch throughout the hurricane, just seeing if anybody needed anything and just kind of like where things are at with our clients and all that good stuff. And I had texted our group message. So there's 3 of us in the company. And so I had texted our group message, and I was just like, hey, where are we getting gas in these parts? And I never heard back. And I was like so surprised because he's super responsive. Now, like we said earlier, there was a lot of issues, and there's still issues with like cell phone service. And obviously we didn't have Wi-Fi. So it was a little challenging. And so later I had texted him separately outside of our group message about something work related and asked him to look into it. And he messaged me back almost immediately and said, I will totally check on it. I was really worried when you bailed on the team text. And I was like,
oh,
I bailed ? And he said, it just said Amber left the group text.
Oh, shit.
And I said, I did not. My phone is just doing some crazy shit. And he said, yeah, you were like, where's gas? Then it said Amber left the group text.
Stop.
And you know, it's funny because
kind of ominous too, like asking for help and then just
and just like, you know what, never mind, you didn't answer fast enough. And so like both him and my coworker Nicole were like very worried, and they were like immediately messaging each other like, is everything okay? Like, did you hear from her? And so they were like stressing a little bit, and I was like, I went back to the group message and I can't even send a message in it. Like if I go into it, I can read the old text, but there's no option at the bottom to like type or anything. And it keeps like disappearing. So I feel like it just keeps telling them I'm leaving the group chat over and over again. So
can you please can we get an update on this next week?
yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So this was like the first thing they said to me Monday morning. You know, we all finally got power back and, you know, just trying to like have a bit of normalcy. And I'm like, I did not leave the group message. I promise. Like,
I wonder if it's iOS 18. I feel like it's been doing some wonky shit in some of
well,
my group messages. Like only
yeah.
sometimes do I get the pictures. Like I
Because
don't even
it's,
see that pictures were sent, and then I just see people replying about pictures that I never saw. But then
if you have
today
to
I did see
request
pictures.
access to an update, you shouldn't have it yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
buggy. And it
Yeah.
deleted my passwords. Okay. So I hate it. And my phone also like looks different. And I know it's an update,
A
so like
little
that
bit.
can happen.
Yeah.
But it just like really is bothering me. Like I want my old
Really?
iOS back.
Hmm.
I
I like
just am,
the
and I want my
the aesthetic
passwords.
changes. Yeah, the passwords is a bummer.
So this week we are trying to consume. Obviously, I couldn't consume for about 5 days thanks to the fucking
Mm.
power.
Mm-hmm.
But we are back on our bullshit, and we're ready to cover some TV shows.
While Amber was unable to consume, I felt like I kind of needed to put in the work for both of us. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. Yes, I did.
Praise.
I overconsumed
Hmm.
during the hurricane days because I couldn't focus on anything really. So I said, why not just disassociate? And
Totally fair.
mm-hmm,
That's what I was hoping I was going to be able to do.
right, yeah. Well, I did it
Yeah.
for you, so
Thank you.
it
That's
it
great.
could
It
be
got done.
worse.
It got
So, Yellowjackets is a show I started and finished during this time.
amazing. Birdie
Actually, I
really likes
haven't
that.
finished. Yes, yeah, it's good. I haven't finished the second season yet. I just started that, but I watched a whole season almost entirely in one day. I think
Amazing.
I watched the first episode the night before, and then the next 9 episodes the next
That
day.
is impressive. I love the commitment.
It's bad. um it's good. It's a good spooky show. The premise of it is it's this soccer team that crash landed on this island, or it's not even an island. They crash landed somewhere. Um and no one comes looking for them, and there's like just all these like dynamics within the group that are really interesting.
Hmm.
And then there's a couple different elements to it. There's like the survival element, but then it gets like kind of like supernatural, like spooky in some
Mm-hmm.
ways.
Yeah.
um and it's like showing them as adults because they do eventually get rescued. I think they end up being out there for a year and a half, so they do
Wow.
eventually get rescued, and it shows them like as adults kind of dealing with the trauma that they
Mm.
um, endured from the tough decisions they had to make while they were there. So
Interesting. That sounds spooky.
yeah, so anyone looking for a good like Halloween watch, it's spooky, but it's not like you can't watch it alone type of spooky. So like it's probably a little too spooky for you, Amber. I wouldn't recommend it.
That's
But
a good
like
scale.
yeah, but for someone who likes spooky but like doesn't want to watch like Saw by themselves, like you could probably handle this by yourself.
Nice.
um Big Brother is done.
Finally.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
it felt like a lot. We
Hmm.
just caught up last night and yeah, how do you feel about the winner?
I'm happy with it.
Me too. I
Hmm.
love that two women went to the final two.
Yeah.
And I think it was it cost Mackenzie the game. I feel like against Cam, it would have been a no-brainer that she's the winner.
A hundred
Um,
percent. I was, yeah,
but I
she
respect her
really,
decision that she was like, bring it. Like
hmm I think
we
that
can
she was really loyal to Chelsea, and Chelsea 100% was not that loyal to her.
I don't think Chelsea I feel like there's a good chance Chelsea would have taken Cam
I
knowing
think
that
Chelsea
she
would
could
have.
yeah. And I mean, we saw
Because she was
Chelsea.
playing the
Yeah.
game.
And do you know what really bugged me? So I love when the jurors get to ask their questions. It just like it just hits like a vindictive bone in my body where I'm like, yes, fucking
Mm-hmm.
ask them the hard questions. But it was so annoying because they both kept answering the same like the same way. Like Chelsea was like all about how she masterminded everything and she was this big strategist, and Mackenzie was, I won all these competitions. And it was just like, can we say anything else, guys?
Yeah.
Literally, we've heard that 6 times. I want to hear one thing that's different. Like
Chelsea
I
sounded like an actual like politician when she was answering hers.
Well, it's because she's got a background in the church. They're kind of similar,
Okay, I could see that.
you
Yeah.
know, like in terms of like having to turn on that like intensity.
Mm-hmm. Is that the
Uh,
nonprofit that she works for? Is a church?
I don't know if it is.
Okay.
I thought she was like a pastor,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it was like, and I thought they did a pretty good job, like not undercutting the other one when they were giving their responses as best as they could. But there were a few times, like when Chelsea was talking, that I was just like, "Oh, Mackenzie."
I know. Like when they, I don't know, they asked a question about like Mackenzie sending Leah out, and then Mackenzie was like, I just had to do what was best for my game. And then right after, they asked Chelsea, like, when did you do something that was, you convinced someone to do something that was good for your game and not theirs? And we're all
Yeah,
like, we know what this is gonna be. And
yeah,
she said that. And then Mackenzie's face too when she said that. Like she was smiling, but you could tell she's like dying under that smile.
yes, yes. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. I feel like in past seasons of Big Brother, the person who was the final HOH would have just taken whoever. I mean, a lot of times it does boil down to loyalty, but a lot of times it does boil down to like who they can beat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I respect her decision. And I thought Mackenzie played an awesome game. Like she's a great
Mm-hmm.
girl. She's 22 years old,
Wow, yeah.
so young. But it was a great season. Like this is the most chaotic
Mm-hmm.
season of Big Brother I've seen in a long time, and 11 vetoes used in a row is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it will be missed, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, we've got some other stuff to cover, I'm sure. We'll get some more
Yes.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
So
Southern
yeah,
Charm
I
has
thought it
got to
was
be
good.
coming out soon.
I feel like we looked this up and it was like January. Or no, there
They
was no
didn't have.
date.
Yeah.
But yeah, it usually is in the fall, like in the winter.
Right. Yeah, there's still
Mm.
no update. Okay, so yeah, I thought it was a great season for my first season. Thank you for bringing me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
You're
really good.
welcome.
I will say I think Mackenzie should have picked Cam in the end. I think 100% Chelsea would have picked Cam because Chelsea knows she would have won against Cam, whereas Mackenzie there's like a little bit more. I do
There's a
think
bit of a
between
question.
Mhm. I do think between Mackenzie and Chelsea, I would have maybe chosen Chelsea to win, but I think Mackenzie is the better person.
I
Or
agree with
like,
that.
I don't even know if I would say a better person because like they're in this game and Chelsea's only playing the game as
Well,
one
it's hard to
should
look
in the
at
game.
someone who strategizes like Chelsea and not look at them as if they manipulated.
Well,
So
she
that's the
did
difference. Like,
100%.
right, but it's also like in Big Brother, it's a big deal to be strategic. Like that's very
Mm-hmm.
all the like big players of Big Brother were very strategic. So it's like, yes, on one hand, she was strategic, but she was also really manipulative. So
Yes.
I don't know. It's easier to I feel like Mackenzie it's like easier to like her because she's the underdog too. Like she kind of Chelsea kind of did a good job positioning herself so she was always sort of comfortable. But
Yeah.
Mackenzie didn't really ever at any point have a super strong alliance until she started really riding with Chelsea. And she's right, like there was a point where like she started rocking with Chelsea and she was keeping Chelsea safe. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they both deserve to win. Honestly, they played such a good game. I
Mm-hmm.
did love seeing all the house guests reunited. I cannot stand Tucka.
Oh, you can't.
Can't stand Tucka. I
Okay.
hate Tucka. But him and Rubina are very cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked him more like his last episode. I remember like being kind of sad that he went, but I
No, I was
definitely
never
didn't like
sad.
him leading up to that.
Mm-mm. He's easy. He's a good villain.
Okay, yeah.
And he
Mm-hmm.
did a good job shaking things up. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that he apologized to Cedric, because when we were rewatching
Yes, yeah.
that one episode where they like go through some of the footage and it shows that fight between them, and it's
Totally
like
says it.
Cedric's like, I told you to use the veto on yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Like insisting that he didn't tell him that, and I'm so glad he got called out on it.
Yeah.
Justice for Cedric, young
Mm-hmm.
Cedric.
And then they brought up the Angela charcuterie board too, and it was good of Brooklyn to apologize for that as well.
Yeah, but she also was making like TikToks poking fun at Angela leading up to the finale. So like
Yes,
I
and
personally I think Brooklyn's a mean girl and she can eat a
yes,
bag of dicks.
I do
And
agree.
Angela's a mean girl too. Don't get me wrong. Like they're both mean girls
Yeah.
in just different ways. Um
Mm-hmm.
One thing I thought was super interesting was how nice and forgiving Matt was. And he was like trying to have like this nice moment with her. And he was like, yeah, I know you were like curious, like if I was going to give you a hug at the reunion. And she's like, not really.
God,
No. But I mean, we can, that's fine. Like, I'll hug you, but like, not really.
I
It's
don't
just
think I
like,
saw
Jesus
that
Christ,
part.
Angela.
God.
Oh, yeah, it was weird. And because like you see Matt like being just like, he was like, I most people would look at it like a curse that they're the first one evicted from Big Brother, but not me. Like I had so many great opportunities thrown my way, like helping out like underprivileged youth and stuff like that happened after I got evicted, and I just want to thank you for that. And he was like, and I forgive you. um and she
Wow,
was like totally not like very accepting of that. They did hug. It was the weirdest. Everyone was kind of like,
that's uncomfortable.
it was really uncomfortable. Like, just fake it. Like, just be like, yeah, cool. Thanks, Matt. So nice.
Right,
So that
right.
we can all move on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
So,
I also wanted to Google
oh, who
who's
the America's?
America's favorite house guest.
Did we get any updates on Leah and Quinn in the last episode?
It seemed like they like each other. I don't know that we really got any updates, but like when when she went to jury, I don't know if
Yes,
you saw this part, but
love that.
when Angela was like, there's no way that you would like
What's that
Quinn, and she's
noise?
like, well, it's Milo scratching the fucking door.
Yes,
um
Angela was a mean girl there.
oh my god, the
Is
three
it Tucker?
finalists were Tucker, Quinn, and Angela, and Tucker won.
I have had a feeling he would win. Yeah, I liked him.
I thought it would be Quinn.
Mm, Quinn is a good contender too, and he wasn't even one of the finalists, or was he?
Quinn? No, he was in
Okay,
jury.
right, but he wasn't one of the
No,
America's
he was.
House
He
Guest
was.
finalists. Okay,
It was Tucker, Quinn, and Angela.
I can't. Angela, no.
Angela was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
I have
America's favorite, like, who's the best person. It's just their favorite
right.
house guest. So it's like, but
Mm-hmm.
historically, it is usually like someone likable.
Right. I have been swiping more, hoping I would come across Joseph on the dating apps, and it's
Oh,
yet to
yeah.
happen. But
That would be so
um
cool. He's odd.
there have been some I liked him so much up until his like last couple episodes, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's some
And
odd
did you see the part where,
conversations.
like, he thinks he's the mastermind of Big Brother. Like he thinks
Yeah.
it's just
It
like
just seemed delusional.
it's giving delusional, Joseph.
It's just my type.
Yeah. Perfect. Sign me up.
I've also been watching The Circle,
Mhm.
which is, I think, pretty close to being over now. No, just kidding. It did end. The Circle ended. I came in like mid-season and they released, I think, like 4 episodes a week or something. And that was a great show. I'm surprised. Like, part of me feels like you would really like it because it's a social experiment like Big Brother.
Mhm.
But then it is like through this kind of like social media like interface. So I don't know how much you would like that. But it was it was the most chaotic season I've ever seen. Um, there was the entire time, like usually you can kind of predict what's going to happen. And people were just like not loyal at all. A lot of
Mhm.
people. So like it was crazy like seeing who's getting eliminated and stuff because in previous seasons like the alliances mean a lot and people tend to stick to them and my head was just like on a swivel this
Yeah.
season. I did kind of like how it ended. I like who won. They were like probably in my, I don't know, top 3 or 4 throughout the season. So, um, yeah, it was a good season. Recommend it. I don't
Nice.
want to go too deep into it.
That sounds cool.
There was this one girl though. I will go into this. She just started this like little white lie for no reason, just for like funsies. And it spiraled out of control and like people were taking her word for some reason over like their alliance's words and like so many people got kicked off pretty much like because of this stupid little white lie that she told and
Wow.
it was just crazy seeing like the way that something like that spirals out of control.
Yeah. The spread of misinformation. Yeah.
I didn't like her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was
um
AI.
Ooh. No, they have had an AI person
I
on the
remember that.
yeah, that was cool. But they sniffed the AI out pretty quick.
Wow. Well, good. That
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel
Mm-hmm.
better.
So Love is Blind, it's getting close to the end of the season now.
Oh, okay. That was
And
fast.
yeah, it's like it started out really wholesome.
It
Until you get
did.
to yeah, which is unlike any other season. Until you get to like episode 3, we start seeing some of Leo's toxicity. As
Mm-hmm.
he's like screaming at Hannah,
That
and
was
he's like,
intense.
yeah, getting off on playing these 2 girls, which is super strange. Um, but we've got a couple good couples coming out of the pods. Most everyone's favorite is probably Tyler and is her name Ashley, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tyler and Ashley. And then the nerdy couple everyone likes a lot, Taylor and
Garrett.
Garrett. Yes. And then there is I forget the other couples' names, but there are other couples as well.
Yeah.
We find out now in one of the more recent episodes that Tyler has children. And I think it's one of the requirements of Love is Blind that you it's not a requirement that you don't have children, but I think you have to be open about having children because you're getting married to someone in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think you're supposed to be open like with the show and the cast about it. Like the producers.
Yeah. That's what I would
So
expect.
he wasn't right. So he wasn't open about it. And I think it all came out on social media when like his baby mama, I guess, I don't know, like ex-partner, I don't know what their situation was, but like finds out that he's on TV. And then he ends up telling Ashley like on camera like that he was just a sperm donor and they were like a same-sex couple and he was their sperm donor. And we know now from the mother of the children that that is not the case. And he also tells Ashley, she asked, do they know what you look like? And he says no. And she has shared photos on her social media of like him with the children like at
Ugh.
Christmas and stuff. So like first of all, it's gross that these kids are old enough to like see this and like hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucked up to them that you would do that. But then also he's like always, they pray every night to before they go to bed together, and they just like have always been this like super Christian couple.
Yeah.
And he seems like, you know, this man of God and like has such good morals, and then you find this like super fucked up thing about him, and it's just like, what the fuck, my guy.
Yeah.
So
So
there's that
disappointing.
drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Then
some
there's,
drama between Steven,
yes,
but I don't know what it is.
he seemed like weird. Like in the pods, I liked him a lot, especially based on that like family history like conversation they had.
Yeah.
He just seemed so open to it,
Yeah.
and it seemed like he had a very like open-minded mentality, you know.
Yes.
And that's just like always a green flag, I feel like. And so they get out of the pods, and he starts like showing these kind of like strange signs. It seems like he'll just like kind of ramble on about just like weird shit all the time, and it's like, where did this come from? Like one night he's talking to Taylor at a party, and I think he was talking about like once they get out of there and like girls are sliding into the DMs and they want to like suck his dick, and like and how he's going to tell them no or something. And it's just like, how did we get here? You know,
Ew.
like why did this just come up into your mind? I don't think anyone is talking about anything related to that.
Weird.
And he just like starts talking. It's like, did that just pop into your head? And like, now you're talking
Yeah.
about it with your fiance and like one of her best friends. Like, what is going on?
That's
And
weird.
like the fiance got frustrated and walked away. And then so the next like significant scene I guess we see of them, there was one where he's like randomly like mentioned something about like fetishes, but he says it in a way where he's like, yeah, those weird people who like fetishes or something. And she like gave him a look again, like, where is this coming from? Like they were talking about like not fetish stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So it strange conversationalist. And then like the next significant scene we see of them is she's like crying in the morning. Taylor's there comforting her. Taylor and Garrett was like so sweet in that moment, which was cute to see.
Garrett seems
Um
very sweet.
mhm. And and Steven comes in and like they have a talk about what had happened, and he went to a sleep study drunk apparently, and he said that she had found text on his phone of him like apparently they were very like vulgar like fetish texts with a
Mm-hmm.
female. um and he said that he was only texting this female this stuff because he was drunk at the sleep study. So
Who
like my
goes
guy,
to a sleep study drunk?
does that not void the results?
Yeah, that's like inconclusive. You can't do that.
And like you pay for a sleep study usually, or like your insurance.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can just go get another one for funsies. Like
No, you have to have like a referral.
right. Just all of that stuff was wild. But yeah, just like super disrespectful
Interesting.
to her too. And apparently like she saw the timestamps on it, and some of them had even been from that morning too. So he's trying to say it was like him being drunk, and she's like, no, it was from today. And he's like, oh, I'll pull it up. And she's like, yeah, do it. And then he's like, oh, oops, I deleted the message. Convenient. So
I hate
sleazeball.
him. Hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Hate him.
Total slime ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He can
Mm-hmm.
go.
And yep. And then their relationship just ended there. She like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of reeled into him for a bit, which she deserved that opportunity. And then
Yeah.
he ended up not being able to handle it and just like walking out.
Good
Um,
riddance. You idiot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then lastly, Taylor and Garrett are having some issues now. Like apparently, and I need to go back and watch this part because I didn't catch like the full. I was probably like doing something while I was watching it, so I didn't catch like the full message of it. But it sounded like he had an ex text him who like was like somewhat interested, or you know, something flirty, I don't know, and he liked the message instead of like responding and like shutting it down.
That's messed up.
Yes, yeah, so Taylor's like having a lot of trouble kind of
trusting.
coming around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it happens in like a 2 week, you only have
Right.
so many weeks before getting married. So that sucks because I liked them a lot. So
I
it's like
liked them a
now.
lot. I know I just said Garrett seems so nice.
Hmm. And then Tim and the other girl, that was the other couple, Tim and I forget her name, but I like her and he's just fucking weird. The barking guy.
I,
You might not have gotten to that part,
yeah, I
but
don't
he
think
would
so.
just like bark all the time. It was so strange and you could tell like she got the ick from him.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
um right. And then like they ended up having some small disagreement and he pretty much just like was like I can't do this anymore and just like ended things.
Oh,
So I don't know if anyone is getting married.
interesting. Okay. Okay.
Maybe Taylor and Garrett. All of the other ones I would be surprised.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that didn't take long. I would like to request that they start adding what day it is when they change scenes. Like how
Okay.
in Big Brother it tells you day 36, like down in the bottom corner. That would be very helpful because
That would be
it was a
nice.
little jarring for me. Like 2 episodes in, people are like saying "I love you" and they're engaged, and I'm like, how long have they been talking to each other? Even it's
Hmm. Well,
insane.
I think some people do get engaged really quick too, but you never know because the way they edit it, like I think they want to give you like
Mm-hmm.
a couple engagements even in like the first episode. So yeah, it is hard to tell.
It's
And I don't
crazy.
know if they want you to know. I feel like they want you to think that it
It's
was
part of
so
the
soon.
shtick. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I would
No, because
appreciate the day.
they're saying that like love is blind, like
Mhm.
not being able to see them. You
Mhm.
like their hypothesis is that you would form a connection faster. So it does make sense that they wouldn't want you to see how long it's been.
Yeah. One thing I will say is one thing I've learned from Love is Blind is that blind love is toxic as fuck. It seems like.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's great. That's not the
No.
impression I'm getting.
Mm-mm.
That sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
So I'll keep you posted next week. I think it'll be over by then.
Yeah. Okay.
So our list this week is it's a fun one. This is Amber's idea. And it's long. It's filled in.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut out my fourth one.
I might cut out some of mine too.
Yeah.
We'll see. Um this list is titled Shit My Exes Did to Me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just want to like preface that I've been in the same relationship since I was 19. So um mine are like my high school boyfriend and a guy that I dated briefly in college when I was a freshman. So they're all about the same two people. Um
Okay.
the first one that I wrote was that he compared me to my friends all the time. All the time,
Ick.
like even in like very intimate moments
No.
or at birthday
Mm-mm.
parties or at
Nope.
prom, um pretty much just like any time he could. And like I just want to say like this is like the most mid like guy you could possibly imagine. Like nobody was fighting me over this guy, right? Like they didn't, nobody
And
wanted
not your
him.
friend either.
Right, and definitely not my friends. They're like, he's a loser, what are you doing?
Did he compare you to the same friend all the time? Like, did he have an infatuation with one friend?
One in particular, but there were like he compared me to all of them all the time, but there was one that stuck out. Um
Ugh.
yeah, and she was not even remotely like never would have happened.
Yeah.
Um and the thing is like we were all in small towns, so like everybody's friends. So it's like that's his best friend's girlfriend that he's talking about
Oh
too.
God. Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
like
The level
that's
of icks. This is
yeah.
a multi-layer ick.
Yeah, so he was just like the worst.
Hmm. It's giving that.
Yeah. So that's the first one I've got.
Okay. So my first shit the exes did to me, bullet point here is the wine bottle opener. Now, this is a classic story between Amber and I.
Yes.
Classic joke. I mean, it comes up at least, what,
Once
every
a
other month
week.
or so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So vastly different. That's fine.
So this ex, I think we have named Leo.
That's funny.
So when Leo and we had broken up, I also have on, I'm just going to kind of knock out two of these at once.
That's fair.
I also have on here strung me along for a year. So that kind of ties into this. So after being strung along for a year, which I won't say was it wasn't malicious.
Yeah.
But it did happen. I was feeling a little petty, a little spiteful when I did actually go in and remove all my belongings from the house. And I'm not super proud of these moments because I went in and it's not like, it doesn't live up to the standard that I try to be. I went in and took like every fork that I had ever bought. Like, literally every single thing of mine that I had brought into that. I didn't have another house to bring these forks to. I was moving in with my mom. She had forks.
Yeah. There were plenty of forks there.
But I took every single thing that I brought in. It was petty, and I'm not proud of it. One of the things that I did take, which I didn't feel like was petty, was the wine bottle opener that his parents had gotten me for Christmas one of the years. And I specifically remember that this gift had just my name on it under the Christmas tree. And I noticed that, not that this matters at all, but my mom would always get like multiple gifts for each person individually. And there's no reason to do that. My mom goes over the top with Christmas. Like, I'm not saying anyone should do that. I just noticed it because my mom does do that. So when I went to their house, they wrote this one gift with just my name on it. And I thought that that was so nice of them.
Yeah.
To get me, just something just for me. And then there were also a couple things that had Leo and is it Leo or Leon? It was one of those.
I think it was Leon, actually, now that you say that.
Okay, it had what kind of name is Leon?
Leon Bridges, baby girl.
So it had mine and Leon's name. There were a couple other gifts that had mine and Leon's name on them. So I got a few things that year, and this one thing was just for me, and I thought that that was so nice of them to do that. So I didn't think twice when I took the wine bottle opener when I left. It wasn't one of the things I felt like I was being petty about.
Yeah.
So I get a text a couple days later, and he's like, this is a nice wine bottle opener, by the way.
Yeah.
I should mention. It's like probably like a $40, $50 wine bottle opener.
Yeah.
So I get a text a couple days later. And he's like, did you take the wine bottle opener? And I said, yeah. And he's like, why would you take that? My parents got that for both of us. And my parents got us that. And there were other things that they got both of us that I obviously didn't take because I'm thinking, well, that's his.
Yeah.
Because they got it for both of us and his parents got it. And I'm like, no, that actually just had my name on it. Like, that was my gift.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm pretty sure that was for both of us. I'm like, no, I know for sure. I specifically remember this was my gift. And then I don't hear from him a little bit. And he texts me back like the next day or something. And he's like, yeah, I talked to my parents and they said that that was definitely for both of us, but it's fine. You can keep it. They'll just get me another one this year. And I was like, and you know what? I was, again, in a really petty mood. I'm like, I'm not bringing it back. I know that this was for me. Anyways, it's fine. Like, we're all fine. Like, his parents came to my baby shower.
Right.
He was at my wedding. Like, we're all good friends, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but it's funny.
It is funny.
Though, like, the amount of times we reference the wine bottle opener. And I still want to just, because we always say we're going to send people bags of dicks, like, just want to send him a bag of wine openers so bad. But, like, so shitty funny ones. Just, like, half broken ones. And, like, ones like that are phallic for no reason.
Just go to, like, every hotel in downtown and be like, oh, do you have a wine bottle opener? I'm staying up top.
Right. Up there. Up yonder. Yeah. That's such a good story.
Yeah.
Leon.
It doesn't get older. Yeah.
Oh,
Leon.
Leon.
Oh, Leon.
Um, my next one is still about my high school boyfriend. So we dated for like a year in high school, I think. And our senior year, I just got to this point where I was like, I had the ick. And I was like, there's no going back. Like, I
It's
hate
hard
this
to get back.
guy. What have I been doing? Like, what fucking goggles did I have on for the last year? I'm breaking up with him. Like, I decided very quickly. I was like, no, that's what I need to do. I have to get this out of my system. He cannot be my boyfriend anymore. I'm done. And so I
Good
worked
for
at
you.
Hallmark my senior year, and so I like texted him and I was like, you have to meet me at my job so we can talk. And I take him in the break room and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm
Like, this has to happen now. You
now.
have to.
I am done now.
My break starts in 15 minutes. Can you be here?
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. And so I break up with him and he was like upset and then he was angry. And I was just like, yeah, that's it. Like, I'm breaking up with you. We're done. Like, now it's time for you to go. Like, I have to go back to work. I've got to put the cards away. Somebody's got to give greeting cards to people. Which in hindsight's like, damn, that was cold.
That's hilarious.
Break room of the Hallmark.
And like have him come to you.
That's classic. Classic. So we break up, and I had a very hard time like sticking to it because he was very dramatic. Like that night, my mom called me. I'm closing the Hallmark. Like it's a few hours later. My mom calls me and she's like entertaining a couple of her friends. It's like a Friday night, and she's like, Amber, you have got to come home. And I'm like, what? That's unusual. Like, why? And she's like, Mark is here and he said you broke up with him and he is upset. And I'm like, he's there? What? And I lived on the mountain. So, like, it's like a 25-minute drive out to my house.
Oh my God.
And so I tell my coworker, I'm like, okay, well, just get what you can done and then I'll come back and finish up and close everything down. I got to go deal with this. And I get there and my mom's like, he's in your room. And I go in my room and I had like a half bath connected to my bedroom. And he's on the floor of my bathroom crying, holding a dozen roses. And
did he have a Hallmark card?
No, but I should have. I should have been like, sorry for your loss.
Condolences.
My condolences. And so he's just like distraught. And I just remember standing up and being like, no, get these flowers and get the fuck out of my house. I broke up with you. You are not throwing a hissy fit. Like, I am not cleaning this up. No.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck
and you're
out.
Probably sick. I'm sure he did these hissy fits
all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
And he was just erratic and obsessed with himself, and an asshole. So anyway, when I went to college, he helped me like move some of my stuff into my dorm, and we still we knew like we are not together. Like we still slept together sometimes, but like we were not in a relationship. And you know, some time went by. He went to school, which is about 2 hours away. And I just kind of text him like, hey, like I just hope you know this like I'm glad, thank you for helping me like move in. That was really nice. Like we're still not together. We're not getting back together. And that's not happening. And then he just wouldn't leave me alone. And it was just like he kept calling all the time. And I start seeing someone. And he's on this list as well. So we're going to get to him.
Okay.
So I start seeing this guy, and who seemed awesome in the beginning. Like even my like roommates and stuff were like, yeah, he's great. We had a lot of fun together. He ended up being like super controlling and crazy too. Well, somehow my high school boyfriend found out about it. I don't know how. He wasn't like a social media person, so I don't know like if he one of his friends sent him like a picture that I posted of like the guy I'm seeing, or
Right.
what, how he found out, I don't know. But he found out and he freaked out. And so I get a call. I'm about to like walk out of my dorm to go to French class, and it's his dad. My high school boyfriend's dad calls me, and I'm like, that's not good. So his dad calls me and he's like, hey, he's freaking out. He took a cab from his campus to yours. They're 2 hours apart, our
No.
schools. He's on the way there and he's very erratic, and like we don't know what his plan is. We don't know like what he's coming there to say or do. And so like I'm calling just as like a concerned parent for you.
No, we don't like that.
And he's like, so I already called like the campus police at your school, and they're going to escort you like to and from class and like to your dorm.
What a good parent.
Really great guy. Always was really great. He knew his son was an asshole the entire time we were together. And so I'm like, okay, no worries. Like I'll call my roommate and like she'll come with me.
Freaking out at this point?
I was pretty scared, and I had to go
Yeah.
sit in a 3-hour-long French class that like I had transferred into late. I hadn't been planning on taking French, and I had dropped poli-sci and taken that instead. So it was just like I had to go to this class. And so I called my roommate and I'm like, hey, when I get out of this class, I need you to meet me and come with me in the cop car to the dorm. Like I don't want to get in a cop car by myself. And so the cop picks us up on campus and he's listening to a Millie. So immediately it was like,
here, a million there.
Totally can trust this man with my life. And like, we don't like cops. Okay. So that's saying something. And so he's like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to drive by your dorm. We're going to look on the patio and see if he's there. Because the good thing about our dorm, because of where it was located, you had to sign people into the building if you didn't have a badge. Like they had to give their ID to the security desk. There was no just like sneaking people in.
We remember.
So it was like it thankfully it was pretty secure. And so he's like, we're going to just drive by, see if we can see him, because he had reached out to one of the people that we all went to high school with, who none of us were like super close friends with, but went to our college as well. And he was like trying to get information from him about like where I was. And so that kid, thinking, oh, this is Amber's boyfriend, didn't realize like we were broken up. Oh yeah, she should be here. And he already knew where my dorm was. He helped me move in. So this just gave him like a scarier access, because he's now planning to meet up with someone who has access to the dorms. Luckily, that person had class, and he was just sitting outside my dorm, just trying to like talk to people and like hope that someone would like let him come in with them. And so I pointed him out to the cops, and then they drove us around the back of the building and took us in the building through the back door. And so he was like, okay, so like now we're going to go talk to him. We're just going to see like what he says. And he had a backpack with him. So they're like, we'll probably like search him. And he did have a knife in his backpack. He was the type of person who like carried a knife. So it's not like that was necessarily unusual. But they were like, yeah, you can't be here. You're banned from this vicinity. But he continues to blow up my phone.
Oh my God.
And who answers? The person I'm currently dating, who is like loving every second of this drama. And so he just like starts asking him like, are you sleeping with her? And like asking him all these like invasive questions and stuff.
Wait, who's asking who?
My high school boyfriend's asking like the current person I'm dating. Guy. Like, if we're sleeping together, which we were. The new guy just kind of makes it worse and is like, says stuff like, the answer to that won't help you. Like, like basically like, yeah, we are.
Right.
So anyway, his parents wound up convincing him to leave.
Thank
And
God.
he stayed in like a hotel room and that night like we were getting updates from the kid we went to high school with who was like totally like innocent and didn't know any better. um
Mhm.
and that is yeah, that's one of the last times I saw him.
Thank God. You saw him again after?
At a Christmas party right when I had first started dating Sean.
Oh boy.
And it was super awkward. I slept in my car that night. I locked myself in my car to make sure like he couldn't mess with me. That
Wow.
was the last
Yeah.
time I ever saw him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Crazy.
I'm so glad his parents called the campus and had you escorted. Like,
I think that they did try to reach out to my mom too, and they just weren't able to get in touch with her. And like she probably didn't. She probably just was like, "Ew, why are they calling me?" Like, no, not
right.
thinking like we're at different schools. Like what
Right.
could possibly be going on? And of course, like we
Mhm.
talked later, and she wound up calling his dad and just like checking in. But yeah, no, they were um, super helpful. It was insane. Um,
God, yeah.
yeah,
That's
just
scary.
full on stalked me.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
This is real short. I don't have a lot of information on this because it's alleged.
I did see the allegedly.
It's just a hunch, but after a breakup one time, my car got keyed,
Oh, definitely had to be that person. Like that's too
or a friend of theirs.
yeah, there's no way like there's no other answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was during a long and the way that like the scratches are in my car, there's no way it's anything but someone keyed it.
Yeah, like intentional.
100% because it's like a straight line and then kind of like spirals, and there's a couple of those. That's not like me just swiping. So, and first of all, I would know if I swipe something, but
Right.
it's not even someone like walking by
It's
and
not
like,
possible. Yeah.
no, it was intentional.
Well, they're
And
getting
it's
a bag of
all,
dicks.
yeah, it was all down the side of that car too.
We'll
So,
play the long game. We'll get
mhm.
them a bag of dicks
Sack of dicks. One,
ASAP. Mm-hmm.
one order on its way. Here's your shipping notice.
Delivered. Um, my last one is about the guy that I was seeing in college. Again, it did not take me long to get the ick. It was like towards Christmas break. Um, and we were leaving to like go home. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. You're the worst. Okay. You're a dick. You're controlling and I don't like you. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to do this anymore. And he again just wouldn't leave me alone and just kept like texting me and messaging me even once I got home. And then one night he tells me that he is, if I don't stay with him, and we never were like officially in a relationship. Like we never called each other boyfriend, girlfriend. We never had like a Facebook status
Hmm.
change. Like we're pretty much just hooking up and like
Right.
that's it. Whatever.
You have to
And
ask someone to be your girlfriend or boyfriend for
yeah.
that to be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, he tells me that if I don't stay with him, that he is going to post one of my nudes on Facebook, which at the time
On
was like
Facebook.
the thing that everyone was using because it
It
like was
was.
still very new. And so I was like freaking out, and I'm like, even
That's
though like I shouldn't have
Jesus
been because like it
Christ.
was a great photo. Like I'm the one that took the photo. Like it was and it was also with like a fucking old ass BlackBerry. Like can't even see anything. Like is this your foot? I don't not totally sure what I'm looking at here. Did you take this with a microwave? So he tells me that, and I'm like freaking out. And one of my friends from high school came over to my house, and I'm like telling and like retelling her the story. And I'm like, I'm so freaked out. Like, I am friends with some of my like professors on Facebook and like my
Oh
RA and
gosh.
like all these people. And she's like, no, we're not going to do this. And she's like, you met his parents, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, I did meet his parents. I met them a couple times. They were great. And she was like, okay, do you know Like, can we call the house and talk to them? Like, you have his house number. And I was like, oh,
I
genius.
love that. Just go to
Okay.
his parents.
And so I give her the phone number and she calls the house and his sister picks up and she's like, hey, I really need to get in touch with your parents. It's really important. I know you said they're not home right now, but is there any way you can give me like a cell phone number or work number that I can reach them at? Well, they're both nurses.
Oh.
Both his parents were nurses.
So a pager number.
And so she's like, oh yeah, I'll give you the work number. I'll give you the number to the hospital and it'll, the extension, you get patched right through. And we did. We got patched right through to his mom. And my friend tells her, like, your son is a complete piece of shit and is trying to blackmail my friend with a photo because she wants to break up with him. And you need to deal with this, or we're going to go to like the head of the university that we go to, and we're going to show them the text where he's trying to blackmail her. So if you don't want him to get kicked out of school, you better fix it.
What a badass.
And mind you, we're 18 years old.
Right.
Like, we are children.
Who is this hero? Are you still friends with her?
We grew up next door to each other and we just kind of lost touch over the years, but like she will always have a place in my heart, especially because of that moment. And it didn't take it was less than 5 minutes and I got a text that was like, fuck you. You're the worst. I can't believe you called my mom. Like, he had the audacity to be mad at me when he was trying to blackmail me
with
to stay with it.
Photo.
Like, and it wasn't even full. It was just like from here up. So it's like not even fully like, it's just my boobs.
But it still would have been so embarrassing. Like,
oh, it would have been awful. I would have been hysterical.
To blackmail someone
with an intimate,
and then the audacity to come at you for tattletaling.
Yeah, and even like
to his mom,
even like
you could have gone straight to the university.
I should have.
Where are they keeping the audacity?
There's no pockets. There's no way they have pockets because there's no room for all of that audacity.
This is what privilege must feel like to not even question that kind of reaction. Like,
no. And it just like further drove home, like, we did the right thing calling his mom.
100%.
We did the right thing.
He's lucky you called her and not the cops, and not the university, the head of the university. Like, he could have. I already know the
campus police.
I had an ex that I had made a doctor's appointment for them. Before we broke up, and I had sent them the date and the time, and this was before we broke up. Then we break up, and I realized they weren't getting up for the doctor's appointment because I still had it on my calendar and we were still in that same house at the time. So I went and like knocked on the door to let them know. And he freaked out and got mad at me because the doctor's office will send you like reminders. And I never like forwarded those reminders on to him. And he was livid by this. And I just find that funny.
That's all your fault. That he couldn't keep up with his own appointments.
Yes. Yep.
Make the appointment yourself.
It was my fault for not reminding him. Like, and can I say, even when we were together, I was not good at the reminders. So I don't know in what world he thought that this would get better.
Once we were broken up.
Post breakup.
Yeah.
Post breakup.
Smart. Yeah. Smart. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
So smart.
Okay. So men are a special breed.
For sure. With lots of audacity.
Okay, for Who's a Better Friend, we are going to talk about appetizers. I wrote mine down so fast, and I think Tori did too.
Do you know whose turn it is?
No clue. Time? I'm just going to say you can go ahead and guess first. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, go for it. Okay, so for yours, I'm guessing yours first, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I have mozzarella sticks.
It is on the list. It's not in that spot.
So 1 point. I will say too, I want to preface that Amber and I have only been like out to eat together
like a handful of times.
We could count it on one hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're kind of just taking shots in the dark here.
Yeah.
Number two, I have chips and any kind of dip. This includes guacamole or onion dip.
Nice. Good job. Yeah, it's on the list. It's not in that place.
Okay, so 1. And then 3, I have charcuterie.
Ooh, good guess. No, that didn't make the cut.
Okay. All right, then okay.
So first was fresh guacamole, like made at the table guacamole.
No, not on the list.
No, I'm saying mine.
Oh, shit.
I know guac's not on yours. I know better than that.
I was like, that's a weird guess.
That is a weird guess.
Okay, guacamole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the, like, your homemade guac.
Yeah. Yes.
And then you always have the onion dip, too.
I love the onion dip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chips and dip is always, yeah. So good guess. 2, I put mozzarella sticks or potato skins.
Ooh,
those to me
okay.
are the same level of deliciousness. I like them together. So
That's fair.
I would have accepted either. And then for 3, I put nachos.
Oh, okay.
Fuck me up with some nachos. But when we were talking about this at the beginning before we started recording, you had mentioned us not going out to eat together, and then we talked about Dunderbox because we have been to Dunderbox together before. And we said potato pancakes, and now I'm kind of feeling like potato pancakes would be above nachos, but it's too late.
Yeah. Also, I would say I should almost get a point for nachos because I did say chips and dip.
I was counting chips and dip for the guac one.
I mean, it really covers both.
It could cover. You're right.
There's an argument for it, is all I'm saying.
I would be fine with giving you 2.5.
Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. It's funny because I always do this in tallies, so I'm not sure how to put the 0.5.
It's like
I'm gonna just do a half of
each, just a tiny little like dot. Okay, so for you, my first guess is queso.
Ooh, that's a good guess. It's not on the list.
Oh, okay. This is only going to be downhill then. Okay. For second, I put mozzarella sticks. Not on the list.
It did start on the list, and then it ended up, I started thinking of more things, and it got bumped down and down. It was actually number 1, and then it got bumped down and down, and yeah, there's other things on there now.
Okay. And I didn't have a number 3 written down, so I'm just going to shout one out. I'm going to say fries. Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, is that purring?
That was my stomach.
Oh, I thought it was your cat purring.
Is that purring? It was a weird noise, though.
Yeah, no, you got to feed that thing.
Okay, number 1.
So I got none.
You got 0 points. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1, crab rangoons.
How did I forget about crab rangoons? That should have been on my list too. Okay. All right.
Number 2, fried pickle spears, and it has to be the spears. I don't want to fuck around with the little. And I'm surprised you didn't get this one because I always get it at Dunderbox.
I can't even remember the last time we went to Dunderbox together, but
it has been years. Yeah,
both of those are good. Crab rangoon, fried pickles. Okay.
Number 3, crab cakes.
Ooh, that is a good appetizer. I always see it on an appetizer menu, and I'm like, no, I'm getting that for my meal.
Yeah.
And then it's some type
this one
of
can
cheese
go either way
for the appetizer. Yeah. No, crab rangoon. Nice.
I have crab on there twice, which it tracks.
It does, because when we went out to dinner, we actually, what's funny is we did just go out to dinner together. So I could have guessed hush puppies. Or crab, because you were like double crabbed up at first. You were gonna get
crab cakes and snow
crab. Yeah. It's amazing.
And then thank God Amber pointed out that it was crab on crab.
Yeah. It seemed like a crab on crab crime.
App. Yeah.
So tune in next week when we talk about favorite Halloween movies for Who's a Better Friend.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be dressed in something fun.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Yeah. Could be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay, so follow us on Instagram at Out of Touch PCast. Follow us on TikTok at Out of Touch Moments. And send us a fucking email at outoftouchcast@gmail.com.
Boom.
Bye.